Welcome to the Sice Room, where culture collides, hot takes fly, and bold opinions dominate the conversation. I'm your host, Trey Five, and tonight we're closing out the year with the biggest stories in music, politics, and culture. Here's what we got lined up for you. We got the Who Sicing segment, where we diving into Kendrick versus Drake beef, Diddy's legal battles, and a heated debate on gentrification versus gun violence in D.C. In the Bipartisan Breakdown, we'll tackle Kamala Harris's campaign debt, Trump's election victory alongside shocking assassination attempts. And finally, for the Sice Report, we're taking a deep dive into Robert Brooks' case and the justice system. Let's keep it rolling. All right, let's jump into Who Sicing, where we break down the boldest, craziest, and the most talked about moments of the year. First up, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake beef. First, let's talk about the Kendrick and Drake beef. Is it just another rap feud? Is it about legacy dominance or how artists respond to criticism? Panel, let me know what y'all take.
I think Drake is responding to criticism in the most terrible way. Like, okay, we know they had the little back and forth with the songs, but it seems like they not like us, shout to the top, and now he could have just took the L and just kept going, but it's like to do all the extras and the chorus. Come on. That's all I got to say. Come on, man.
What you got, AJ?
I mean, I think that without the lawsuits and shit like that, neither one of them's legacy would have been tarnished. I think now there are more questions with Drake just because of how he handled taking the L. Both of them will be able to make music. If anything, Kendrick was propelled a little bit more. He's put back in the spotlight by the victory. But, outside of that, when it's all said and done 10 years from now, I think their legacies will be intact with the exception of the fact that, Drake didn't handle it as well as he should have.
What you got, Tiz?
Man, I'm just going to say, man, hey, I'm going with this, just keeping hip-hop alive type of thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it's going to definitely mess with neither one of their legacies for real. They are who they are, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely better than what Kendrick, but other than that, nah. Meaning when I say better him, it's putting him on a better scale, like a higher status, but other than that, this is better for both of them, for real, when you think about the industry, bro. They ain't. It's to the point where now a bad can happen to you and then you gonna go up. So it's like it's hard to say that. You know what I'm saying? That's some bad stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. The way Drake handled it wasn't. I just feel like as any individual that you should stand true in your power, and I feel like within his artistry, the way he handled it, it wasn't standing true in his power. I feel like it stepped into emotions a little too deep. Like it's all artistry at the beginning and the end of the day. And I don't like the way he handled it either.
So pretty much everybody in agreement that y'all don't like the lawsuit. But who won the musical battle?
Hands down, Kendrick. He bodied it, and that's why Drake is responding the way he is. He's bothered, but shit, it's a part of the artistry, and I feel like he should have stayed in his lane too. Like he's not a rapper. Like a lot of stuff had popped up. Like Lil Wayne had told him when he had first came out, like stay a Canadian, stay in your like lane, stay in R&B. Don't get mixed up in the rap culture. Don't get mixed up in American culture. Like he's Canadian. Be Canadian. Be an R&B artist. Stay in your lane. And he could have jumped back into it and stood in his power because that's what we love him for. Like shit, he come out with a dope ass song. I'ma definitely be listening to it.
I agree.
Drake, you look like Drake took an L on this one, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he took an L, but he got a big-ass mansion in Canada to go back to and relax and write some R&B joints and pop songs, and the nigga be fine. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? From a hip-hop standpoint, he took an L. It's got to be a winner and a loser, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
You gotta take Bravo.
Hey, Drake already seen this coming, bro. He wrote a song to the fans long time ago. He was like, "Fuck that nigga that you love so much." Nah, he took an L though. It's like it's a bigger L, right? Because people got people hating on Kendrick for getting the Super Bowl, all because of the Drake shit, right? Like they trying to put Lil Wayne in it, like, but think about it. It's only one time that the Super Bowl really had a hometown performer perform at the Super Bowl, and that was California with Dre and them. Everybody else wasn't a hometown uh artist that performed at the Super Bowl. So yeah, he took a big L.
That was the first time ever.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well,
Jay Z ain't want to back that ass up in the middle of the Super Bowl. That's all
but he
that
let
is.
Beyonce do it.
But girl, you look good once you back that ass up in the middle of the Super Bowl.
Hey, come on, man.
I mean,
Like,
Beyonce did perform in Houston
on Christmas,
on the Super Bowl.
that was Houston.
Yeah, that was Houston.
Despite him saying, I honestly wish Wayne would have got it.
What year was that?
The Super Bowl.
13. I wish Wayne would have got it too. If we
Oh,
gonna switch
13.
it to
Oh, yeah, that's before Jay-Z.
hometown talent and people, you know what I'm saying, getting rich into the culture that they in while we do the Super Bowl, I mean, it's only right. You know, Louisiana has enough artists.
Yeah, I just think it would have been better because you could have had Wayne, you could have had Boosie come out, you could have had Manny Fresh, all them niggas come
Master
out,
P.
Master P, and did it like that.
You got
As
Fredo
opposed to
Bangs. They got a lot of artists.
Them niggas ain't been hot since I was in high school.
Man, people still going on tour.
And them songs live forever, bro.
They definitely do.
Wipe Me Down. Let Boosie come in that zone and do Wipe Me Down at the halftime show. With a marching band out there, John, doing Wipe Me Down.
Legendary.
That might be crazy.
Legendary.
All the HBCUs
It'll
and
be
shit.
epic from then on.
Wipe Me Down. Like, come on, bro. A bunch of cues. Come on, bro. That would have been epic for the culture.
Just what shit like.
I don't disagree. But the percentage of people that listen to these artists that y'all want versus the percentage of people that watch the shit, like that percentage is a small percentage.
But it's like,
majority of the people that watch the Super Bowl listen to Taylor Swift, bro.
But how do you translate they not like us to a Super Bowl performance when you call in 80% of the motherfuckers watching the Super Bowl colonizers?
Yeah, and he's talking about.
So look, check this out, right?
Oh, it's not. It's. I feel like the revolution can be televised. Fuck. So shit like that can't
I'm
make
with it.
to networks like that, anyways. But because that's too controversial. Like, but it's gonna give these people a heart attack. They see that. Oh my gosh, with the flag and behind it.
Not that Kendrick isn't deserving. I just would have preferred it to be a New Orleans tribute, like a New Orleans show out. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I would assume that would be the right way to go. But
He deserves it because of the diss track?
Who, Kendrick?
Or did he deserve it before the diss track?
The diss track. The whole beef. The beef is what got him.
That propelled him.
2024.
He wouldn't have got it
That
without that.
propelled him. I'm a fan of Kendrick, like for real. So I say like his artistry is deserving of it, but as far as the people's eyes, it wasn't until after the diss for real.
Because I mean, if Wayne
kind of goes ghost a lot.
if Wayne would have had a recent hit like a real banger, then it would have been a different conversation. But time is also a factor here. Like there's nothing recent to fill up that show. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, what didn't fucking Snoop Dogg just do?
Ooh, did you just make my point about why Boosie and them
50 Cent performed in the club.
It was Snoop joint. It was Snoop joint.
50 Cent performed in the club, bro.
Yeah.
So, did he not? Did 50 Cent not perform in the club at the Super Bowl, and that was his appearance, right?
Yeah. And
when did that song come out?
03.
Exactly. So I
So
know.
what
Are
is he
we
talking about though?
right? So we talking about relevance of songs? Are we talking about? Are we saying that Kendrick track list is? You want to compare Kendrick track list to Wayne track list?
We can't.
Oh,
But I
right.
think if Wayne would have had something a little bit more modern, that might have helped. I think They Not Like Us literally pushed Kendrick into that place.
Those was great takes, gang. I ain't gonna lie. Next up, let's shift to Diddy. The hip hop mogul is facing multiple lawsuits from harassment allegations to claims about toxic work environments. Panel, do you think these allegations will tarnish Diddy's legacy or prove to be justified media storm? Another attack against black men. What you got, Wink?
It's gonna destroy his legacy. Like growing up, I always heard like little stuff, but it's like with it on the forefront. Then you got like little pictures, little videos. Then you got the interviews. It's like it's up for him in my eyes. And then we seen the video of him beating Cassie. Come on, bye.
AJ.
I mean, the Cassie shit kind of did it for me. That's pretty much it. I got sisters. You can't be putting your hands on a motherfucking woman. The way he did it and all of that, it was just some sucker shit. But even aside from that, the allegations are enough to tarnish your career. I mean, R. Kelly put out albums and hits and shit after he pissed on that little girl, and all we could talk about decades later was him pissing on that little girl even before he went to jail. Like, oh yeah, you put out a hell of a gospel album and shit, but you still pissed on this little girl. Like, it is what it is. Just putting it out in the air like that is enough for people to attack you, regardless of if you get acquitted, nigga. You gonna go to jail eventually because one of these motherfuckers gonna stick. It is what it is.
What you got, Bravo?
Hey, hold on. I got a side note real quick, man. We gotta leave Kills alone because Kills been telling us from the beginning. The Pied Piper, you know who the Pied Piper was for real? Kills was telling us from the beginning that nigga got problems. But
Age ain't
Diddy,
nothing but a number.
hey, look, that too. You hear me? But the Diddy situation, man, that nigga got enough money to make his lawyers make that shit go away for real, bro. It's going to stain him for a minute, but who talking about Bill Cosby? Who really talking about R. Kelly right now? Like years after this, like a couple years, man, ain't nobody gonna be pressing that boy out like that.
What you got, Z?
Yeah, I think it's tarnished, honestly, because it was just a lot, and I was mentioned that I think AJ said that one of them is bound to stick, and he just did too much. But I just think overall, like, I try to look at things also as a big picture, just what was exposed, behaviors and actions. As a collective, we shouldn't frown upon the individual. Overall, the activity needs to be addressed just as intensely. Like the way that this is going to crumble everything, like, yeah, his artistry is still going to be there, people are still going to play it years later because it may not be a relevant conversation, but those who live during those times, they're still going to feel away and think about those things when they play the music. So it is a thing, but overall it's the behavior. Hopefully that is still intensely addressed because it's big conversations about how it's bad, but hopefully it's not just for him, it's big picture because it has to be a stop overall.
All right, y'all. Finally, let's bring up home to DC and gun violence. These are the two biggest issues facing the city right now. And we are trying to attack what is more dangerous to the city of DC, man. Gun violence or gentrification. Turn
I
your
mean,
can to the side.
short terms. Yeah, I mean, gun violence for sure. Short term, um, like it's a dangerous place. People hungry and people are, desperate. People, they see something that they can take advantage of, and it is what it is. I haven't been home in a long time. I just been hearing from afar, like, it ain't where it need to be from a gun violence standpoint. But long term, in my opinion, gentrification, all it does is push out the people that's been there for generations and generations. They see the dollars that come in and they sell, and then they don't have no equity. And Chocolate City ain't Chocolate City. You know what I'm saying? That's all that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to we have to have some dexterity and understand that generationally, giving away what we have for a quick come up, you know what I'm saying, long term, you know what I'm saying, it's not going to do anything but hurt the generation that comes after us.
Of course, the gun violence is a thing. Granted, it's probably gun violence other places too. It is gun violence places, other places too. But when it comes to the gentrification, that's just pushing people out, and that's just spreading even more. Like that's just pushing people to other places. That's making gun violence. You know what I'm saying? It still all go together, but I don't know what they're gonna do about. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do about the gun violence. Like, okay, you can keep locking people up, but I think it's deeper than that. Like why are they? You know what I'm saying? Why are they getting guns? Where are they getting them from? You know what I'm saying? You can lock people up all day, but get to the root of the problem, the real root. In my opinion.
What you got, Z? Gun violence or
And I
gentrification?
said I second on AJ and Wink. Like I agree, but I think gentrification is like that's always been my. I always see that as a problem and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna run with that. But yeah, get to the root of it though. The root is really the problem. Like that's again going for the player instead of the game. Get to the root of it. Like you gotta get to the root. So yeah, I just want a second on both.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the gentrification, but I think niggas should try to like, cause gentrification could be overcome. You know what I'm saying? Like all it is adapting for real, for real. Like you
It's
can't
beyond it.
do
Oh my
you.
bad.
It's adapting your mindset. I ain't talking about adapting like your financial. You got to adapt your mindset to the gentrification. You could beat that. Gun violence, that's gonna happen. What's the solution? Ain't nobody ever had that. So I think if niggas try to not at niggas, but people, us as black people try to find a way to. It's a loopholes in the gentrification. You can get through it. So if we came together and actually worked on that, we could beat that. But attacking gun violence is useless. It's what happened. Go
Well,
ahead.
I
the
agree.
gentrification, if properly handled, it will take care of the gun violence. Like, there will be like I feel like it will create a shift. Like you said, it's a mentality. The mentality will lead to actions. The mentality is
Right,
messed up. The actions is messed up. Mentality is shifted.
right.
The actions is shifted.
So yeah,
I
I
mean, I
agree.
think
So if you attack that gentrification, the gun violence can be simmered down because that's what go hand in hand. You get what I'm saying?
so. As a person who has equity, like a person who has equity in the city, what you should target
Right.
is, I'm not giving you the asset that you want. If you want to invest, okay, take this
Mhm.
empty fucking lot and build your fucking Walgreens, build whatever the fuck you want. You could build a whole fucking apartment building if you want to rent it out. But my house, I'm not selling. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If we all make a stand, if the people who own that property make a stand in that way, then you still get the investment in the area, you know what I'm saying, without having to give up your place and your voice in the area. What happens with gentrification is you give me 100 to 200,000 more than market value for my property, and I move and I leave, and then my voice no longer matters in a place where the fuck I grew up and my
Right.
family had to say so.
Right.
If I stay here
Right.
and I keep my motherfucking property and I say no, I'm not gonna let you develop here, find another motherfucking place, then they gotta go and figure out, okay, where do we do this? Or we force you out and they give you 150%. Now you give me 150% and you force me to move, that's a different story. But with that 150%, I can afford another property in DC. So I still have a voice. You dig? So like you have to say no to the point to where they force it. And when they force it, they gotta pay you enough to replace the property. You get what I'm saying? Like the
That's
gun
true. That's a
violence
smart way.
dissipates. The gun violence dissipates when there is less of a need for bare minimum essentials. Like if these niggas ain't as hungry because they got jobs and they got other shit to do, like then it becomes okay, shit. Maybe I'm not gonna I'm not gonna chance this fucking 10, 15-year sentence. Maybe I'm gonna just go to work because they hiring 80,000 motherfuckers at above minimum wage. Like I can make $20 an hour at this motherfucking FedEx facility. You get what I'm saying? Like why you got big fucking Amazon and shit in Virginia and all of this other shit? Why couldn't that be placed in DC? Simply because the negotiations weren't there in place to make that shit happen. Like, no, DC should want all of that investment, that outside investment. Figure out how to make that shit happen. Like, putting the stadium in DC makes sense because you can build a lot of shit around it and put people to work. You know what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, like gentrification, you attack that, and that can have a trickle down effect on the poverty level. The poverty level improves, and then, less gun violence. It is what it is.
That's basically what I was saying. That's what I meant by, I might have used the wrong word, like adapting, but basically that's
Nah, you was
adapting.
fine.
You find the solutions through it because it can be overcame. You just gotta think your way through it. You can't be thinking just like, nigga, I've been living here for 20 years. This my house. Like, nigga, well, you about to, what? You just gonna sink or you gonna swim? Because that's all that's gonna happen. All that don't matter no more. Or this, you've been living here for 40 years and all that don't even matter. You have to adapt to the situation, fight the
Long as
situation at
niggas
hand.
is hungry in the street, they gonna do what the fuck they gotta do to not be hungry. Niggas
Yeah,
got
that's what
kids,
happened.
niggas got
But
families.
like you
We
said,
gonna do what we gotta do. Improve the entire environment, and then I ain't got to bang no more.
that's everybody want to be a street nigga again. Well, now even niggas that was working, shit, we watched all them niggas turn to hustlers and scammers. That shit, niggas went
Hey,
backwards. You hear me?
I mean, improve gun violence, man. Let some of these fathers out. Let some of these
Yeah,
dads back on the motherfucking street, bro. Like rehabilitate,
but
like
that's
like
that.
like they talk about rehabilitation, but they got niggas locked up for weed and shit. Like let these niggas
But
come
do
home
we
and
know
raise
that
their
like that's the
kids.
plan though? Like, who game is it? We know who game it is, right?
Right.
All right, so we trying to tell people who game it is to change their rules to compensate us. Do you understand that?
100%. But
All right.
you got to say no at some point. If you say no, then they got to negotiate at some point.
Yeah, if you come with something they can't fight, but
Yeah, I
that
think
shit
the
we
only,
doing, they that ain't nothing.
Constitutionally, you can't move me unless you pay me an exponential price to move me out of my property in Washington D.C. And
No, that's true.
you got to go through so many layers just to get me out my motherfucking house. So
But how
if you
many
get me out
people
my
know
house,
what you know? You feel what I'm saying? How many
that's what I was
people
about to
like us
say.
know what
I
you
think
know?
education is
the
the
way you
key. We
over
got to
the way you
educate each
listen,
other.
the way you overcome the gentrification is by information.
Yeah,
The
we all saying
information
the
is
same thing
there.
in different ways. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
for sure. Yeah, the information is there, bro. It's just
The,
people with this laziness. They ain't got the they don't have the they ain't got the work ethic. I'm gonna use that for lack of a better way to put it. They ain't got the work ethic to search for the information to inform
But,
themselves.
Well, niggas
but
like us having a conversation and talking about it is
I was about to
that's a
say
start.
that's why
the,
stuff like this.
the
What you
topic,
about to
Dre,
say,
was
man?
what's more dangerous, gentrification or gun violence in our communities?
Oh, that was the question. Well, gun violence ain't going nowhere. So
That's why we attack
yeah,
gentrification.
that's why you attack the gentrification because the gun
Right.
violence ain't going nowhere. I don't care how many people remove themselves from their messed up situations. Gun violence gonna always be there because ego and pride ain't never going nowhere
And as soon as a person moves, it just creates a vacuum.
for sure.
Motherfuckers fill the void.
Yep.
Then we got the entertainment system that's gonna keep it pumped up, going, making niggas want to be these killers and all that. It's a lot to the you know what I'm saying, aspects to it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's multifaceted for sure.
Or
The
why
whole
niggas
system
is
is
just always gonna be shooting niggas.
the whole system is fucked up because it's designed to take the black father out of the home.
For
Hey,
sure.
J. Cole said it best. Pride is the devil, man.
So
That book.
we leave our kids to be raised by the shit they see on TV.
Ain't no unity.
And you got
People. It's the unity. Because you got a lot of smart black people, but niggas be doing that shit by themselves. And if they don't, they got their own little group. When I say like unity,
we
like
designed to be by ourselves, bro. We designed to be against each other, bro. It's their plan. It's the whole plan, and I'm not trying to get super
you
super
saying it right.
petty about it, but literally that's the whole point of the slave master saying, "Hey, you listen to what the fuck I have to say. I like you. You should stand over top of these other slaves and whip the shit out of them. Make sure I get my cotton. I'm gonna let you live in the house." That's just programmed. It's programmed. So until we reprogram the shit and go back to where it was before desegregation, we into the same
Hey,
shit. Desegregation at the time that it happened was the worst fucking thing to happen to black people.
I can't hit.
Desegregation was the worst thing that ever happened to black people.
Yes, because before desegregation, at the time that it happened, remember that I said at the time that it happened. At the time that desegregation happened, we started having cities and whole communities of our own, right? So they was like, oh shit, well, let's desegregate and go make money off of these niggas and buy into their cities and buy into their cultures or burn them motherfuckers down completely. If we would have waited and continued to build and have our own equity to bring to the table, it would have been a totally different story. We let that shit happen way too early
You
because
got a rebuttal, Z?
we were
She might speak.
educating ourselves, all of that shit. Go ahead, Z.
I don't know if she's feeling you or she got a rebuttal.
I'm sorry, I'm on mute, but I'm agreeing. I'm just like, period, period, period. But
Oh,
I
he
agree
cooking.
up
He
to the
cooking.
top, to the cooking. Cause that's what I was just talking. I talked to my kids about some stuff because I don't have no, like you said, you by yourself or clicked up somewhere. But I'd be by myself and with my kids. But I was just talking to them about how the the desegregation was like the worst thing because we had all the skills necessary. We built everything. We were established. We knew the trades. We knew everything that we needed to know. We had everything that we needed to have to be able to be self-sufficient, to establish for ourselves. To integrate into this was exactly what he said. Like it just was crumbled everything. Where we wanted to be a part of a society, they never wanted us to be a part of it. Like I don't know where we forgot that we were a product. We
We went
started as a product.
we
We
went
were a
from
product. We had to fight to even be a people. Why do you think that they want us to be a part of anything? They still taking.
we
Like
went from building because they wouldn't allow us in, so we built our own shit. We literally had our own banks. We had our
exactly.
own investments. Like we had Black Wall Street. That was a real thing. You know what I'm
Didn't have
saying?
a
Like
choice.
we didn't have a choice, and then they decided to make money off of it and invest in our own shit, buy people out, and they moved out in these all of these little sections of America, like where black people literally had prominent roles in their own communities. They came and they made money off of that shit. There's like maybe two or three prominent black banks in America right now. There's one major black bank in DC today, when there used to be fucking 50 black banks in America because the white people wouldn't take our money. It was dirty money to them.
All right, all right,
Could have
all
been
right.
okay.
Hey,
I'm okay with that.
AJ about to start a revolution, y'all, man. He about to start a
What?
revolution.
Say it though. It needs to
So,
be said.
he definitely is. That's gonna wrap up Who Sicing. Now let's get to the bipartisan breakdown where we dive into this year's most polarizing political stories that seem like that's on AJ's radar anyway. So I think that's a pretty much a great segue for us to get into this bipartisan breakdown.
Hold on. Yeah.
First up, we got Kamala Harris campaign debt making waves. How does a campaign that raised over $1 billion end up $20 million in the red?
That's what happens when your campaign starts late. At the end of the day, she really was on the back end of everything. I mean, if y'all remember, it got to the point where Joe Biden was even having a debate with Trump. So we were late in the stages. We had a couple of months to promote and push Kamala Harris for the Democratic Party. That in particular was enough. What's up, buddy? That was enough to really put her behind. Now, with her being behind, money just started flowing in, and it's hard to account um, for your losses at that point. So it's really just overspent just to try to push the narrative. Nobody's counting the money that Biden had already spent for the Democratic Party up to that point. It's all on Kamala. You get what I'm saying? So it really is unprecedented for someone to come in so late in the race, and to be fiscally responsible at that point. They're just throwing the money out there, wishfully thinking that she'll be able to catch up.
Are you going like that?
I'm not surprised. Just judging by like things I've excuse me, things I've seen or looked into on my own time, it's just like I'm just not surprised. Short and sweet. That doesn't surprise me that has happened.
All right. What we got, Dre?
Man, listen. Honestly, man, I just don't think people took this race serious at all. It's not enough people that went out and voted for it, in my opinion. I run into people all the time. A lot of people don't like to discuss if they voted or not in general, but a lot of people just didn't vote this year at all. People didn't make the effort to go out and do so. My opinion.
Z?
I wasn't surprised. I agree. A lot of people didn't go out and vote. I was one of those people. I'm far removed from all of this. I'm anti everything. I do believe that we should be separated. I'm not in support of none of it. We're choosing the lesser of two evils these days. So I'm not a part of none of it. I'm in support of the good Lord and our Savior, not the bullshit that we see. But I wasn't surprised.
What you got, Tizzle?
I'm just like she just like said the same thing. I was about to say, you know what I'm saying? Like I already called that. I already knew she wasn't gonna get that. So she raised $1 billion just to play with $1 billion for real for me. And like you said, to me, the lesser evil was Trump and everything he's saying way better than what she was saying. And he sound more black than her. All that. I like spanked her. I ain't gonna hold you. It came out like how I wanted. Honestly. Hey, you talk about a person, she black and all that. Look, that's cool. But remember, she sent niggas to jail. Specifically niggas, not men. Niggas. For
They say she was
100
on Michael
years for
Jackson.
nothing.
She was on Michael Jackson line too.
Come on now. Why would we want to vote for her? Because she black. Come on, man. That pro-black shit is poison to a certain extent. It's too extreme. It's getting too extreme.
A staggering 690 million was spent on media advertisements alone.
See what I'm saying?
Hey,
Exactly.
Oh, no, man, go ahead.
That right there.
She spent $15 million on celebrity endorsements and $4 million on influencer marketing. Did y'all feel a way about her not going to Joe Rogan, or nobody cared about that?
Nah, I ain't even care. I missed that way. She
saved
herself for embarrassment. My bad. What you say, Wink?
No, it's all good. It's just like I voted for her because in my eyes I thought she was lesser of two evils. But it's just like I didn't even care about that enough because this deep dive that I did do, I was just like, oh man, the things she's saying, and like I say, sending the niggas to jail, things like that. It's just she was ridiculous. Megan Thee Stallion is not going to make me. I mean, granted, it wasn't because
Out
of
there
Megan.
twerking for the votes, though, is
That
crazy.
detoured me
Twerking
all
for
the
the
way.
votes.
Why would you choose her as a good representative for you? Like,
yeah, is that your way
or
of
anyone? Like,
black
you
friend?
could have did that after you won. Like, let's celebrate. Turn up, but no. Before.
Black victimhood. think that's what they were trying to cater to.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't work. Did y'all have an issue with them anointing her after Biden?
A what?
Anointing her, because it wasn't no like voting or no type of democratic process after Biden went out. They just told us that Kamala
But
was
she
running.
was behind him anyway, so
I
we
It
thought
was
knew
that's
that. You know what I'm saying?
unconstitutional.
Once he
But
fucking,
yeah, definitely, in my opinion, it definitely was. The vice president doesn't always run. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
yeah,
unconstitutional unless the
And they just anointed her as the candidate. Just
only
right.
point where she should have been
But I seen that though. Like that was
she would
like,
have had to die.
I think a lot
Like
of people
Hey,
ain't
yo,
like that
right.
either.
there should have been
hey,
another vote.
when Trump ran the first time, who was he running against? A white woman. When Trump ran the second time, who was he running against? A black woman, quote unquote. Man, if they put another woman up there, they're gonna put Trump up there. He gonna go for his third unprecedented third time. For real.
Hey Mo,
Ain't
can
And
that
you do that?
you know why they
no?
keep putting
I
women
support
against
Trump out of
brothers?
anyone because he's not a politician. I like that he's a businessman. He's more a ruler out of most
I,
of
I
the
hate the fact
candidates.
that they tried to crucify black men for not voting for her.
Ha!
Because
Right,
it wasn't
right,
because she was a woman. It was because of who she was. And we knew she locked up
exactly.
a lot of niggas.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
And
Like,
For sure.
can we be 100 guys? She
yeah.
don't
What?
give you sister auntie vibes.
No, she
No,
She
don't.
she give
don't
me
That's a
give
fact.
she give me
you.
That's a
Punjabi
fact.
vibes.
She give
She
you
be
your
walking
manager
her
at work.
through
She give you
bullshit.
that manager lady at work that you be like, what the
Go the
fuck you
other
glow up
way.
at? Like,
Yeah,
If
like for real.
If Michelle Obama would have ran for president, she would have won.
She would have won
That's the
hands
truth.
down.
yeah.
Hands
She
down.
yeah, I
got
think
way better
Hands
chance than
down.
her.
would have did a
She
better
definitely
job than her.
got.
Hey,
I don't know about record wise because Michelle ain't got no record.
I got an unpopular opinion
Like
about
I
this.
don't even know what she
I
would
don't think any woman is ever going to win the presidency until they ready to start the next world war, because all of
Fact.
these third world countries don't respect women enough. So we put a
I
woman
mean,
in our seat of
white
power,
and Lat-
they're gonna blow this bitch up. They're gonna blow
white
this
and
bitch up.
Latino men in America don't respect women.
Listen, it's a lot
Um,
more than that in America. But I'm talking about none of these third world countries. None of them respect women to the
yeah.
point
I
where if
agree
we
with
put a
that.
woman in power,
I don't agree with that.
now no, let me not say none. Let me
You
say
don't?
90%.
Okay.
No, I don't agree with that. I think sometimes people mistake a lot of different respects for women in other Eastern cultures as disrespect, just because it's not a normative over here. Like me and Tizzle talk about a
I
lot
get
off
what you're
camera or off
saying.
pod because
Yeah.
he practiced Islam, where a lot
Right.
of Western people in the Western culture feel
Okay.
like
Yeah.
women in the
Okay, hold
Eastern
up.
culture who practice Islam are being disrespected when they choose to wear the hijab. They choose to live a certain lifestyle. And then if you understand the lifestyle and the culture, you'll understood that actually puts them on a hierarchy.
It's
But
another conversation.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's good. Okay, T.
There's a
All right.
difference between choosing something and being born into it. So if you're born in Saudi Arabia, you know no better.
I wouldn't say no better. You know no different.
You
You
know,
jump
you
mute if I.
literally you
how could that not be
live
speaking for? You can't speak the same for America?
Period. And
absolutely.
our chaos.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
if you're speaking about if you because you just singled out Islam, like, and in Islam there are a lot of countries where like you can't even introduce Christianity.
I ain't never seen that. Ain't no such thing.
Saudi Arabia is a country where Christianity is not even introduced. It's literally and figuratively the Mecca of Islam.
I mean, it's like a
Ah,
contradiction. Like that's
Mecca
like
and
hold on.
Medina are
yeah.
both in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, look, listen.
I mean, there's
You can't
enough
enter.
places where
You
they
can't
could
even
go be
enter those.
Christian.
You can't even enter those two cities as a follower of Christianity.
Why can't you? That's
It's
false.
illegal. You're a Muslim. You're
Nah,
a
yes,
Muslim.
I'm a listen,
And
listen,
I know you're a devout Muslim. So
listen.
if so, you
For a
know.
fact, for a fact, any Islamic country, and this is through all throughout history,
Tizzle, that's not
you could
true.
you can practice whatever you want. Nigga, they conversate actually built churches for Christians.
Tizzle, if you
There's
take your
endless
jihad,
Christians in Saudi.
Tizzle,
Huh?
if you take your jihad, if you are blessed enough in your life to be able to take your jihad, right? You will never see a Christian in the city of Mecca or Medina. It
You
is
said
illegal.
jihad? Hold on. You mean Hajj?
Yes, your
They do not.
Yes.
Saudi Arabia does not ban the entry of non-Muslims, but they ban the public worship
Right.
Yes.
of the religions.
Yes.
Yes.
You can't.
Even your dress, you can't
I
like
know
come
it's
in dressed
nuanced,
the
but
way you want to, do it with
it's
you
a
like,
critical nuance.
Yeah.
and that's okay. We have
Right.
enough
You
places
can't
across the globe
you
where you
can't
can do
just be
whatever
like
you
I'm
want to, however you want to.
right,
Like, I
right.
think
Unless you're a
that
member
is
of
just
the
respect
unless
and reverence to the faith. If that's where it came from,
Right.
honestly, more cultures should adopt practices like that where you actually recognize the culture
but
and
again,
what
Mecca and
is going
Medina
on in
is
that
that's not
area.
where that's not. So I want to make sure
That's what I was
we're
about to say.
correct.
To your point, non-Muslims are
It's
not
not a
permitted into
okay.
Mecca,
That's true.
Right.
though.
That's
So I
true.
said, hey,
I
to your
Okay,
told
so it
you.
point,
was Mecca.
to his
Okay.
point, though.
So
But that's
Yeah,
because those are secreted. I
But
mean,
those
those
are
are considered sacred
but
Islamic
still,
they're
cities, though.
sacred.
I'm still
It's not
saying
that
that.
that's not the place where Islam was founded, though. It
But
wasn't
either
founded in Mecca and
way,
Medina. I want to make sure that's clear as well.
that region, that area, the
all right, so
faith,
yeah,
like
I was about to say.
if you want to
What
adopt that and
go ahead.
hold on to it and stand true to it, that's what like I was saying, like standing true to your power and your like your value, like that's what I take it as.
I'm a theologian, so I
Okay,
literally
okay, I
like
understand.
right. So
Okay.
I literally study religion.
Okay.
I am a firm believer in the fact that in my beliefs aren't common, but I believe
Yeah.
every Abrahamic religion is a brotherhood. So if you believe in
Okay.
Judaism, if you believe
Okay.
in Islam
I
or
agree too.
Christianity, we're all brothers.
Right.
I agree.
So look, cousins, yeah. But
It
yeah,
is
same.
separation
Yeah.
too,
But
division, but
Right.
look, back to what you said. Mecca, right? So if you wanted to go to Mecca, right, you don't have to be Muslim. What they saying is you ain't gonna see no churches in Mecca. You ain't gonna see nothing, no
It's all
Catholic.
mosque.
You ain't gonna see no paganism, none of that, because that's like y'all said, a holy land. There's plenty of people that just went over there to see what it was, and then just to experience what was going on. They not even
Hey,
Muslim.
as a Christian, like as a Christian man, you cannot just walk into Mecca. You have to be a Muslim. I'm telling you that. That's facts, bro.
Listen, bro.
Unless
how do
you
they
are
Listen.
know
a
that you're
reporter,
Muslim
you have to
You not
literally
conceding to,
be.
oh, he's not conceding to that.
No, because listen, I'm trying to tell you, it's plenty of people you can go on YouTube. They not even Muslim, and they going over there, and they what
It's
makes
normally
you a
journalists.
Muslim? What you mean? What you mean by make you? You have to dress properly, accordingly, like a Muslim. Yes, but you don't have to be a Muslim, because that means I will have to force you to take your shahada if you wanted to come right here and experience praying in the masjid or whatever, because you're invited to anything. Any non-believer is invited into the masjids and all that. Anywhere in the world, that's Islam, especially in Mecca, because that's where the Prophet was from, Mecca and Medina. So I know what you're saying, but listen, you going off of the words they using. But I'm telling you, it's people that I even know. It's so many Christians that's even over there in Mecca.
So as a theologian, I would like to go to Mecca.
You can, nigga. You gonna
You know
pay
what I'm
your
saying?
money. That's all you
All
gotta
right.
do. But you
We'll
cannot dress like
we'll
certain
see.
ways.
Yeah, of course.
Right. That's
I
what it
understand.
is. So you're gonna look like a Muslim
You know
while
what I
you
mean?
over there. Just
And
like
again,
Saudi
like
Arabia.
certain things, like for me as a theologian, someone who studies religion,
Mm,
um, in search of higher power, like that, I have no problem respecting culture and respecting, what needs to be respected in order to see something that's powerful. You know
right.
what I'm saying? I have been taught to believe that that's something that I can't do without accepting Islam
Nah.
as my faith.
Oh no, who nah. That's why that's one thing about Islam, right? Like Z was saying, like the devil, this real. He got so many obstacles for you to get to the truth because he don't want you to believe. His key is to get you in Gehenna, the hellfire. That's it. So it's a lot of false, what you call
Narrative.
narratives and representations of Islam out here, where people think it's like one thing about it. It says no compulsory, so it's nothing forced in Islam, nothing. So that's why when you said that, I already know, and I'm just like gamed up, mashallah. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's no possible way that can be true because first of all, I know people that been there that ain't even Muslim, and then I know I know for a fact there is no compulsory. So that's like saying because we Muslim over here, if you want to come right here, you gotta be Muslim. That's kind of compulsory. You know what I'm saying? In a way.
I would love to be corrected in that narrative, bro. So
So
I'll continue to do my research and look
yeah, I'm about
into
to
it.
say just book your ticket, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Reach out to a real Muslim, bro. E-man that's over there or something. There's ways to get to it, bro. They got those jumps online where you can do Hajj or whatever. You can reach out to them people, bro. They'll real live walk you through it and all that. It ain't nothing like that. Wallahi.
That was a great twist and turn from the original point. Next, let's talk about Trump's historic election win and the shocking assassination attempts that followed. Panel, what does this mean for his presidency and the future of the Republican Party? The future of presidents.
Oh, I feel like it just makes things more real. I feel like we read history books and hear about stories and think that, oh, that happened then and it's not going to happen again. So I just feel like it just made that just like a real thing. Like, no one's untouchable, number one. And then number two, just to be more alert. I think it's a good thing that not a good thing, but I mean like a silver lining type of moment that could have been taken from that. I don't know.
What you got, Dre?
Honestly, man, I completely agree. I think it's just an eye opener. You gotta be more. We got people that's actually hating. You know what I mean? You got people that's going to dislike you. However, got to go, and you running for president, man. You tighten the security up. Do what you got to do to make sure that you come out of it alive. In my opinion, that's what I got for it.
What you got, Wink?
I agree as well. It did make it actually like real, like they try to shoot him. But well, another thing is at least he won't be president again after this. But it's like I don't know. It's like did they ever? I don't know if they ever said why the guy did this or what. But it just makes you also think, or it makes me also think that. Damn, I lost my train of thought. But either way, it did make it real, and for somebody, whatever reason it was for, it's like, okay, we're saying, oh, Trump's real. He do this, at least he telling the truth. And it's like, well, dang. It's also, you know what I'm saying? I guess it's making some people mad enough to want to get him or take him out.
Oh. What you got, Tizzle?
It just showed how I hope I'm using the right word. Desensitized that the world is like that shit really ain't gonna be nothing. That shit swept under the rug. And niggas looking at it like it's a joke for real, just like everything else. That's what I see. It's highlighting how the world don't even care, nigga. You can get killed on camera, be the president. They don't care. They just like want to see it. You hear me?
I mean, the assassination attempts. I mean, I can't really call the validity of everything that went down, but what I will say is, I mean, I think it does show a lot of weakness. It shows the rest of the world that, I mean, again, American can be touched no matter how high you are on the pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can be touched. I think it's a bad look for the country in general. Um, as far as his landslide victory, I mean, it is what it is. It was 4 years of something that a lot of America didn't enjoy. And, we'll see what he's able to do, whether or not he can reel in his party. A lot of his party right now, they're at each other's throats. You got big business and science and tech going against his base, which is basically middle class white people. So we'll see whether or not Ramaswamy and Elon Musk can calm it down and stop going back and forth with his people, the people that actually voted him um, in order for them to be productive in whatever way they see fit. But right now, it's looking kind of murky. If you can't protect your president, how you protect your people?
Yeah, if you don't even want to protect them,
Right.
can't protect them, don't want to protect them. It's like, Jesus, it's a bad look, B. We got laptops, assassination attempts.
Yeah.
Nigga sons doing coke and shit.
Nah,
Man,
for real.
all type of shit, bro. This shit crazy.
Oh,
This shit real live look like House of Cards.
And we grabbing them by the pussy. Ain't that some shit?
Shit crazy. Wicked. Then you had your man, Robot Joe, like, damn.
yeah, nah, for real.
Then as soon as Joe get out of it, now Joe woke up all of a sudden. Now Joe awake, rocking with Trump. Now Trump is mad. It's like, dog, these niggas, man, you can't make this shit up, bro.
Nah, for
Shit
real.
is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. But we're gonna wrap it up. Now it's time for the Sice Report, where we take a closer look at one of the most pressing issues of the year. Tonight's Sice Report focused on Robert Brooks, a man who lost his life under suspicious circumstances in a New York jail while handcuffed. This case has sparked outrage and calls for reform. I don't know if anybody's seen the video, but I know I can't show the video. But
Yeah.
y'all aware of this topic?
I ain't see it. I'm just getting aware. You hear me?
I saw the video. Literally, bro was in handcuffs. It's like 6 or 7 niggas in there just beating the shit out of Slim. He was
You said 6 or 7?
Yeah. All guards.
Well, what was his charges? What did he do? What they had the audio or something like that?
I didn't see his charges. He was already, the nigga was locked up or whatever the case may be. It looked
charges
like
of shoplifting.
Right.
You said what?
Shoplifting.
The nigga. So he was talking probably. So then he probably was talking shit or something.
It looked like they was trying to restrain him in the video or whatever at first or whatever the case was. Like he looked like he was laying down for a second. But they beat the shit out of him and nigga died later. And it's like,
it was 13 of their ass, bro.
Like, y'all deep as fuck. Why the fuck is that even necessary?
And a nurse.
Damn.
And I think they ain't had no body cams on or something. I think the footage was from something else.
How many niggas did they do that to that didn't die?
These police officers or COs?
These correctional officers.
They COs.
Yeah, COs.
Oh, cuz. That's crazy.
Yeah, they do shit like that.
That's crazy.
I couldn't even finish the video because it was just like, damn. Oh, you like at one point. Yeah, at one point you just see like a motion of this. I'm like, all right, I'm good off of that. But it's just like that's so unnecessary. And then he died. So it's like they need to be, of course, fired. More than likely, they can be fired and rehired like they do the rest of them in that community or that field of job, whatever. But it's just wrong. I hope they sue. And it's just like it just keeps happening. Like how many times have we heard people being in some type of officer or police custody and then they get beat up or mysteriously die? But it's somehow, man, it get deep for me.
That shit just like normal. I ain't gonna hold you. That's just like one in the blue that we just finding out about. You know?
Humans in cages don't work. Humans in cages don't work. It's just a way to make money. The shit's private. So it's just a way to make money. Like, but it's proven time and time again. The whole process does not fucking work, bro. It just doesn't. Niggas go to jail. They don't rehabilitate most of the time. When you in for years and years and years and shit, they don't know no fucking better. You beat the fuck out of them in that jump, and they come out and they in the same shit. The system doesn't work, but it makes a shit ton of
I
money
don't know if I agree with that they don't rehabilitate.
on their
But
own, bro. It's not
it's
the
definitely
system that
it's an
rehabilitates them.
uphill, definitely an uphill climb though.
You gotta be willing. You gotta want to do it your damn self. It's not the system that they have in place that rehabilitates them.
I feel like that. They gotta
Like,
want that
Maybe,
shit.
right?
because the system is fucked up.
Because the system not gonna help you. They gonna help you stay in that motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? Don't put them in a cage.
That's
Put
how
them in
it's
a class to
designed.
begin with. Take them straight to
So
fucking
you
class.
really got if you really can
So
beat the system, it's because you put your mind to it. That's what you gotta want it, like you said.
y'all remember where everybody was beefing with Michael Jordan because they thought he was investing in privatized prisons?
That's not even him. That's not even
I know,
Michael.
but I'm saying when they thought it was.
Yeah, facts. I
Is
remember.
that is that a bad thing? Do you think maybe more black billionaires should invest in privatized prisons so they can rehabilitate people?
No,
Hell
if
no.
you, unless
I
they
feel no.
unless they control the prison, meaning your investment has to be significant enough for you to have a say so in what the fuck goes on in it. If you're
So
making a minute investment in a private prison company, you don't have a say so. You're not on the fucking board. You got to have
I'm
board control of it.
I'm gonna say no because why buy a jail when you can buy schools, all types of stuff. Like
Also,
there's
facts.
so much stuff you can build way better than a jail. A jail is already saying that you praying for my downfall. So no.
Yeah, and I know
I agree
we
with
don't
that.
need a black person. We don't need a black person being the face of jail at all.
so
Damn, Trey.
Yeah, we
so
don't
is
need that.
the prison to the school, the prison, the pipeline thing is like a real thing, and it's already like in effect. I think it's already years back. We already the most incarcerated people in America.
Right.
So is that not a thing? What about football team? Is investing in a privatized jail more important than a football team?
Yes, is not more important than the football team because I see where you going at 5, but that's the school the way the way their school systems is teaching. If you don't have to really do that, teach that way. You can build your own school system and teach how you want to teach. We choose to go with the government school system. See what I'm saying? And that's designed connected to the jail. That's why it's like that. You see what I'm saying? Because that's their game. They
It's
got
also
like
with it.
Islamic schools that don't lead people into jail or is connected to the jail. You know what I'm saying? Or what you want to say, Baptist school, or I mean, what you call them schools? Where it's all
Catholic schools,
Catholic schools and all that.
private
They don't
schools in
lead you to
general.
the jail. You know what I'm saying?
It's
But
the
this
inner
real
city schools, the
right.
poverty
That's what I'm about to
stricken
say.
fucking schools where the black people are
Exactly.
forced to be because they never
Because
had access.
what we actually learning in school that's really like useful to you in life.
We can't afford to send our
It's
we
only
can't.
two things that you learn. It's only two things that you learn in school that's actually useful in life. The
Mhm.
the adding and subtracting in math
So
and
math,
the
definitely.
and the peer interactions, which is not nothing
It's
that the
more though.
school. Nah, it's
It's
really
more than
not.
that. Because
I
English, what
disagree.
about reading the English?
Yeah, literature is not a
Yeah, I'm about to
factor.
say, you gotta give it that. I give them.
Science
They
is not
got
a
more than
factor.
that. Yeah, science.
Listen,
Like
do you
it's
understand?
Money
stuff
No,
is
they
not a
we
got.
talking
factor.
we talking about now. Or we talking about period because now I could go and I could push a button on my phone and I could talk into my phone and it'll type whatever the fuck I wanted to type. I can go into an app. You know what I'm saying? As long as I know certain letters, I can go into an app, find an app to write a whole report for me. I can find. It's so many things that technology has now that I can find everything to do everything for me. You know what I'm saying? The only thing
And
that you learn in school that you don't, and it's not something that the school teaches necessarily, is peer interaction. Because when you think about
Bravo,
it, go ahead.
Bravo. My only contrast is I have a degree in the arts. I learned that in school. Like I couldn't go on YouTube and learn how to read and write music. I had to have. I'm not that type of learner. I had to have a real life experience with somebody showing me something in person in order for me to be able to actually grasp it. Like I needed school to. That's literally the most prominent thing I learned in school was music. Like if I didn't go to school, like I would have played in church, but I would have learned by ear, and I never would
Oh,
have
is you
learned.
niggas telling me y'all ain't learned shit in school?
I learned a lot
Is
though.
that what you niggas is telling me right now? We having like a whole revolt of like school ain't shit, man. Nigga, we ain't learned nothing.
No, I'm
Basically, off
saying
the relevance off of our lives, like all the time we spent in school, the skills and the information and the way it's distributed, like, was it really beneficial in your life now
that's what
that
we
you're a
saying.
mature
We're not
adult?
saying, yeah, Z. We're not saying school itself.
Yeah,
We
Z, but
saying the way
it's a difference
they.
between
Yeah,
what you learn and what you apply as well. So I don't know if everybody could just blame their educational system for what they chose to apply when they became an adult. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the take you guys trying to take.
I agree, but overall, like we keep going back to like it. The root is really a mental thing. So socially, like the way that it's set up, the pipeline, the way that it's visually set, like the relevance of the information. If this information is spread out to everyone in different demographics, the information is probably more useful for certain demographics. Then those other demographics are left with a whole bunch of information. And when they're put into the real world, that information is not useful anymore. So, yeah, you do have to have the will to create it, but it's not an environment that's set up where it could be, it's supposed to help you, not supposed to have you to figure things out. Like, it should help you figure things out. It puts you in a spot to have to figure things out. Like, it should help your mentality, not like put you in a spot where you're stuck. And I feel like it puts a lot of people stuck because society is not set up to like for all the demographics to achieve and win.
Right.
Is
Right.
every school created equal? Because most of these niggas on this joint right now went to motherfucking Benjamin Stoddard and Crossland fucking high school.
That's a fact.
Right. Like
Suitland.
niggas wasn't going to motherfucking private fucking schools and shit. Like nobody was at Gonzaga Prep out this motherfucker.
Exactly.
Nigga, like
Exactly.
so that shit is weighted differently. Where you go to school matters. I learned shit in the schools that I went to in Crossland High School. I learned for the little bit of time I was there till I got kicked out and had to figure out how the fuck to get a GED and go to college after that.
And did you go to one of them prep schools after that?
No, I went to fucking PG.
So where's the contrast coming from?
No,
how do we know just because the school has more merit that the kids are getting a better education?
Well, that is kind of that. I ain't go to no prep or private school, but I went to. Okay, so I went to Suitland, but then I got kicked out and I got sent to Wise. Them was two totally different type jumps. Like they was two different jumps. Like, but granted, yeah, overall it was two different learning environments. Like,
can I ask you?
I didn't have I've had teachers say shit like, well, go ahead and talk. Already got my degree. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Five, can I ask you a question? So if you know that, say you work in a day job, whatever the fuck the day job is, right? And you know that where you work your day job, minimum wage is a certain amount and you make minimum wage there, right? But if you go in another county, minimum wage is way fucking higher, right? Which has happened between like DC, Virginia, because Virginia kept their minimum wage low for a long time. I'm gonna put in less work.
She's still lower than what it should
Right.
be.
Are you
NBA.
learning different things at the one that you're getting paid more money at? I love how y'all trying to shift the argument.
No, I'm not
I love
shifting the
it,
argument.
but I never said nothing
Give me
about
a
learning
second.
environments. The learning environments clearly are different. But I'm
Right, so-
asking, is the education different? Because y'all
Absolutely, because
shitting
the
on
teacher,
education. And y'all saying there ain't nothing we can learn in school.
you get
So
better
I'm just challenging that by like, what?
You get better teachers in places that pay more.
Hold.
Like,
No, nobody said nothing you can learn in school. It said
how do we know that?
saying that. Huh? You said what?
We can't
Nobody
just
said
say
nothing.
better teachers.
Yeah, we
No,
saying the
I
what
said
You
they're
said learning
teaching.
environment, the type of kids, the building, and maybe the teachers were better, right? But we talking about what? Wires too, right? When that joint got built, when we find out when that joint got built versus when
Yeah, that don't
it was
have
brand new. It
the
attracted all the best
yeah,
teachers
we
in
knew it
PG
was
County.
brand new because we all from here, right? So
Right.
we like, come on, dog. It's not the same. A brand new ass school versus
With
a
all the
school
best teachers in PG County who got paid more to go to that fucking school and teach.
Exactly. But was the
I thought
So where
education
you're at
better?
matters.
Was
the
they
question.
teaching different shit though?
I thought the
They
question
do be
was
having
Were
different
they
what.
They be
teaching
having different
different shit?
curriculums,
And
different
then what different
activities.
shit was that? Because I got a second question to this. So that's what I want to know. Y'all were just shitting on the curriculum at its base. Science, certain shit ain't nothing, right?
It's also incentives.
No. We didn't say science was nothing. We said we pointed out
I mean, a lot of
them
different
as
people were
the
saying
ones.
different things. That's why I
We
was
were
like trying to figure out. All right,
I'm
what can
agreeing with you
everybody
though,
come to
and
a
I'm
general
on your.
consensus when
we
they
were
saying, all
saying
right,
these
fuck
was
this
the
part of
useful
school?
ones. My bad, man. We were saying these was the useful ones: math, science, literature. We ain't say that was. We were saying the other stuff. There's so much other stuff that we could have been learning in school, other than the stuff they wanted us to learn,
That's true.
which is be
All right,
useless, like she was
so
saying.
what are these things then? Because then I was gonna ask y'all
Can I
1,
jump
2,
in?
3,
Can I
4,
jump in?
5. I have
Go
a
ahead,
board
Bravo.
before after this, Bravo, so you can understand what I'm asking. So you can go after you say what you're saying. I have 5 people. This y'all boardroom of creating y'all school. I just want to know everybody's, you know what I'm saying, top curriculum. But Bravo, say what you were saying.
I was just gonna say, like, to be honest, like, as far as what's being taught in schools, none of the useful shit other than peer interaction can be taught. Like all that shit, all that other shit can be taught at home, bro. Like you, like that, all that shit can be taught at home. Going to school, the only thing useful that niggas is learning is peer interaction and how to move around the world
Disagree.
amongst people.
I
My
disagree.
personal opinion. It's my
Yeah.
personal opinion.
Bravo. The only reason I disagree with you, and I hate to cut you off, Ant, because I know you got a segue to go in with this.
No, I already said it.
I disagree because kids learn differently, and they need people who are trained to teach people who learn differently. Every parent can't teach their fucking kid every subject. YouTube can't teach people who aren't visual or
Facts.
they're not those type of learners. Some people can't. They lose fucking focus looking at a fucking screen all day. So I have to learn in a different way, and you need people who are trained to do that.
The exception does not make the rule, though. You know.
I mean, that might be the majority. When you think about it, these like everyone doesn't learn in a uniform way. You have to touch kids in different ways, and
No Diddy.
in
No, no
schools
pun intended.
like no, yeah,
No,
exactly,
no Kelly, no R. Kelly shit, right?
absolutely,
Instagram trying to flag us for shit, man. We don't.
right.
Hey,
Oh,
all of these takes are disclaimed. Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
I think that you know what I'm saying. You need someone who knows how to differ their approach, and that comes from fucking school. Like I couldn't be a teacher. I decided that was something that I couldn't do because I didn't have that talent.
right.
Um, but like my sister's a teacher, my niece is a teacher. Like they have skills, they have ways of reaching children that I can't. You know
So
what
if
I'm
y'all
saying?
was
Right.
creating a school, what would y'all curriculums be? One a person.
All right. My curriculum will be financial literacy.
Yes, which is the primary
Correct.
thing they don't teach.
Yeah.
That
Financial
w-
literacy and
Agreed.
financial history.
yes,
Mhm.
yeah. The history and the literacy together would be a combination course.
Right. Black history everywhere. I live in a state where they don't teach Black history.
Oh,
So
that's insane.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't. They
there
like
are states that don't teach Black
they
history.
literally
Absolutely
like
That's what
correct.
I'm
they took
saying.
that
It's
shit
so
out.
many things in this world that we use that we wouldn't be able to use if a black person ain't created.
Right. The biggest
Shit
problem
crazy.
that the
It'd be a
biggest
lot of
problem.
them mixed schools. The schools with like, you got white and black, but it's a nice mixture. Like my daughter is in Georgia, and my daughter goes to a mixed school, but her teacher didn't teach no black history whatsoever. And that
Well,
became a
damn.
problem with all the black parents where we had to go up there and actually say something like, hey, you guys need to incorporate more black history into you guys' curriculums for them to
Right.
even change anything. They thought everything was perfectly fine. We had to step up and say something for them to change that up.
Yeah,
Right.
that
So
got to be. I
he's
think that got to be
absolutely
taken up
correct.
at the school board,
Right.
right? That's
Yeah,
what the school board is the one that got to be approached by that about that, right?
Right.
correct.
That goes all the way up to the
Crazy.
governor's office. In my
Damn.
state, Governor DeSantis does not want to teach Black history and does not want to teach Black financial history. The reason behind that is to keep
Damn.
Black people stupid. So, like, real short, I'm gonna keep this
That's
real
rough.
fast. Back in the 30s, after we came out of World War II, Great Depression, literally they had it in the leases for these homes where you couldn't sell your home to a black person. The reason
Mm.
they did that is so black people could not have equity in these homes, send their kid to college, and have generational wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't teach that because they don't want black people to understand that the pathway towards generational wealth is through ownership.
Ownership. Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't teach our kids, especially black kids, financial wealth and financial responsibility.
Literacy.
These white
Yep.
families have
Mm-hmm.
been doing it for years. They can teach this shit at home. But if you teach the
Mm-hmm.
black person how to do that, then they understand how to build equity and then turn that equity into financial security, turn that
Cooking, boy.
into
You cooking.
generational wealth.
You cooking.
So that is one
Hey,
of the
look.
biggest things. Like how to make money, how to manage money, shit like that has to be in the
Yes.
curriculums in these schools,
So
especially with
Bravo's is
black people.
financial literacy and yours is Black history.
It's a mixture
And
of both.
mine's is God. They don't teach you nothing about God or life. They stay away from that. Wallahi. That's a curriculum they need to put in there. I don't care how they
It's so
put it in there, whether it's
diversified though.
Christian.
It's hard.
Nah,
It's
it ain't
hard.
hard.
It's hard
It ain't hard.
because the
Just
division between whose God are we teaching.
Right.
That's the biggest contrast. Instead of everyone agreeing that it's the same God, you know what I'm saying? Like it becomes hard because then you just create division. Our spiritual leaders can't come together and acknowledge that it's the same God. So how can they do it in school? We still
but
fighting
who
fucking religious wars all over the world.
this is a what would this be considered? A Christian country?
At its foundation, it's a Protestant Christian country,
Right. So
meaning it's
whatever
built by
they
churches.
don't
It's built by churches that disagree with the Catholic Church.
right. So it's the same God. It's just how it's just different outlooks. I get what you're saying, like
Right, but
different outlooks.
Christianity
It's the
looks
same God.
down on any other religion that isn't Christianity.
That's
Which
true.
is
So solely
blasphemous
based
and this
solely
shit. This shit
but
is that shit is blasphemy though.
it's solely based on the fact that they believe Jesus is God, as opposed to other religions that believe Jesus was a very prominent prophet. He was
Facts.
a prophet. He's mentioned in the
Yeah.
Quran hundreds of
Facts.
times, literally. You know what I'm saying? He's
Facts.
mentioned in the Quran hundreds of times.
He's
He's
a
a
Muslim.
child of Judaism. He was born a Jew, right? But
Right.
in those other Abrahamic religions, they don't view
Right.
they don't view Jesus as God, and that's the major separation.
And they
Um,
figured that through his curriculum, huh? What's your curriculum, Dre?
Listen, financial literacy, I agree. I mean, so we need to be definitely teaching kids about keeping your credit score right. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Straight
ain't
up.
learned about none of this stuff when we was youngers and in school. They kept us on, basic math or whatever, you know what I mean? And we did our history, of course, you know what I mean? I thought man,
Definitely
We need
financial
history.
literacy.
Yeah, but financial literacy is what we
How
really
much
needed, man.
how much of that history is
Sure.
real that they told us though?
Yeah,
How
they got
much of
to
that shit is
revamp that
That's what I'm
whole
fabricated?
shit.
telling you. So
Revamp that whole
you can
shit.
implement Christianity, Islam, all that. If you can implement all that bullshit history they was giving us, because it's real history. If you real do your history, all of it
Yeah.
goes with it. Religion,
Yeah,
all that is in the history. It tells you about the history.
I
Where it
mean,
land
I
religion
from.
think
was a
I think religion actually could work as part of a curriculum, right? Because what you would do is you would have multiple teachers, you know what I'm saying, each in their own individual they specialize in their own individual religion or whatever, so
But why would you
you wouldn't
need
have
that?
the
Listen,
because
you got. Uh,
you got the parents that's going
but
to
listen,
complain and
yeah.
shit.
hold on.
You can't study
It,
religion until you go to college. Today,
listen,
like how it's made up right now, you can't study it until you go to college.
yeah, but it should be implemented early. But listen, just because you're religious don't mean you don't got another aspect. Because the reason why we have algebra to debate today, I don't know if y'all know, a Muslim made that, came up with algebra. Y'all can fact check that. So you can be a Muslim, Christian, whatever, and implement other curriculums. If you're a teacher, it's how you want to do it. But just
Right.
because you religious don't mean you don't have to be straight about religion. You get what I'm saying? You can
Well,
have your math, you can have the English, the whatever, Arabic, English, whatever, you know what I'm saying, classes and all that.
I mean, history was so influenced by religion that it should be taught.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should
Yep.
understand that some of the most prominent turns in history all happened because of religious motives, one way or another.
Right.
What's your curriculum, Wink?
Important.
If y'all was building a school right now and you had to implement one curriculum in the school,
Well, I want to say I want to agree with the financial literacy thing, but I think I had like a class that kind of had some stuff like that already. You know what I'm saying? So or it might have been like entrepreneurship or something like that. But
So that had to been wise.
nah, Suitland, they had that in
Oh,
Suitland.
that's not taught at
oh,
every public high school because Friendly ain't
yeah.
had nothing like that. But
But do
keep
they
going.
have? But I don't know about all high schools, but don't they have like little sections with like vocational that have like not all like them type of little jumps though, like child development. But either way, I don't even choose.
Yeah, you gotta go to specific
It's too
schools for
much. Like
those.
I
I
don't
had
even
a
think
joint in
school can
Crawford,
prepare you for some of this stuff in
ninth
life
grade.
though.
I was the only ninth grader in my class. I was in all 10th graders, 11th graders, all of that.
For
They
me,
would
I
teach
don't
us
even
how to
know.
write resumes and everything.
Yeah,
Right.
stuff like
First
that.
time I even heard
Yeah.
about the word resume.
But did they teach you
Yeah.
about investing? Did they teach you
Right.
about equity? Like, did they teach you about,
I think equity. I don't know about investing though. I can't
you know
cap
what I'm
about
saying?
investing.
Like, did they teach you why it's
Uh,
important to own a property? Like, did they teach you about what were bad investments
the
to
niggas
make?
is bad as shit in that class too. That was
Right.
crazy. I'm trying to think.
I mean, like,
I do remember the resume shit though. That's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
yeah, go get a
that's
Resume don't
in my
job.
have
brain.
nothing.
They
I
Resume
teach
don't
you
probably
have
go
nothing
learned
to
get a
do with
job. They don't
financial
teach you to be an
literacy.
owner.
I don't want to try to grade the class off my memory right now, but
No, I'm just saying.
that's
I'm just
just
saying. I'm saying resume has nothing to do with financial literacy.
Right. That teaches you how to be a part of the system.
Yeah, that you ain't done
How to
nothing
go
but
get a
getting plugged
job,
into the
not how to
system.
be an owner.
Yeah.
so. It's
Yeah.
a part of financial literacy will be what stocks, right?
Not just stocks,
Not
but
No,
just
I'm not
stocks
saying
though.
just stock.
Stocks,
Guys, slow
yes,
down, guys.
yes,
Not
yes.
just stocks, right?
I
But
was saying.
stocks would
I was
probably
gonna
be
say
one, right?
not just stocks, but
But
yes,
stocks
that
would
would be
probably
a
be one.
portion of the
So how would that
curriculum.
not be buying into the system?
What?
it's not bonded.
Is that a
Okay,
real
so
question?
That's a dead ass serious real question.
Say it again.
This not so. This not a capitalistic country,
yes, so
right?
Yeah.
if all right,
A
So
so
buying
little
into
bit.
capitalism is buying into the system.
not just financial literacy and capitalism are two different things. Can I teach you how not to have to struggle in life? To be financially free. Being financially free and being rich are two different things. You can budget to whatever fits your personal lifestyle, but teach me how to budget.
Facts. Facts.
It's not to be rich. You don't have to be a conglomerate. You don't have
I'm with you. I ain't saying nothing about being rich. I'm saying about the term y'all use about buying into the system.
If it's a capitalist-driven country, you should understand capitalism. If you don't understand
you should buy into the system.
Not buy into it, at least understand it.
So you could buy into it and you can maneuver in it.
So I cannot be taken advantage of by the system.
But
See,
you don't have to take.
So there's a difference between buying into the
I deal with
system
tap dances
and buying into the system.
Yes, because
like if you're buying into the
it.
system, then cool.
You can't get around it. You gotta buy into it. Like Fab trying to get y'all to concede to it.
Right.
Exactly. Right.
I think you can play the game without hurting people.
Or
you don't have to. You can live a different type of holistic style, and then then you banish as one of those type of people. But those are the people that don't buy into the system.
I can make smart investments without dicking people. True capitalist.
How? Because you gonna chase where the money go and where it come from every time? No.
To make a smart investment can be as simple as, okay, as soon as I am financially able, I am going to buy a home. After I buy my first home, I am going to take advantage of the systems that are in place that aren't designed to hurt people. But if I stay in this home for 2 years, I take care of it. And if I'm smart when I buy my first home, I can then move out of my first home, take the equity out of my first home, and rent my first home.
So niggas come protesting at the door talking about something. Yeah, this is a slave land, man. These is my people's land, man. You done bought this. We want our shit back. Then what?
Under what circumstance does me buying a home have anything to do with slave lands? Like, I just bought a house, my first house. And then I decided to move out of my first house, but I didn't want to sell it. So I just rented it out and bought another house with the equity that I built in my first house. And then I repeated the process. So by the time I was ready to retire, and I see passive income from all of them without hurting anyone.
There is no way without hurting anyone.
Why? How? Can you explain the system that I just
I think you can take advantage of the system without necessarily buying into the system.
Hurt anyone, Ant?
You didn't hurt anyone in that process?
Why did I have to? I bought a home. I stayed in it for 3 years. I decided not to sell it, but I took the equity out of that home and put it down on my next home. So I'm providing a household for a whole nother fucking family. They're paying rent. I'm buying my second home.
When we follow the money and certain things, for example, like we seen a nigga like Trump get scrutinized, right? For shit that happens on their properties. And sometimes shit happen along the land of who built that house, the labor who built that house, the land the house was under. It's always a trail somewhere in America. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
That's all. I'm not. Is that it's possible that you always stepping on somebody's foot or in this motherfucker.
Be mindful about the moves you make.
So it's just like, you in the mix. I'm not against buying into the system. I'm not against none of that shit. I'm just saying when niggas was turning a damn resume into buying into the system, I'm like, let's slow it down, because everything is pretty much the system, guys.
A resume alone, they could have taught you a lot more in that class.
I said don't use my memory. I just said a resume was just one of those things. You feel me?
All I can go off of in this conversation is the memory.
But the class did exist.
Right.
You feel me? So all we could go off is y'all going to the same school I went to and saying the class didn't exist. I let everybody, you know what I'm saying? And then to let y'all know, no, it was a class that did exist. With that shit,
it was called professional development. I took the class.
But I was definitely in that motherfucker. Say it again, because that might ring a bell.
It was professional development.
Maybe.
I took it. I was in the class.
I just never forget that, John, because I was a 9th grader. You know what I'm saying? I was with all the other, and I'm like, how the fuck I end up in this shit? And they was just teaching us all type of life shit like that. And I was like, this shit kind of how to fill out taxes on the jobs and shit. I do remember that. It's starting to ring a bell.
Professional development
But
was
I'm
the
just
name of
like,
the
just
course.
don't use that as my, my lack of memory to kill the class. But it existed. That
I
should be
didn't I
existed.
didn't learn shit in that class other than how to work for somebody,
But that was
how
the
to get a
closest thing
job.
to my mind of like financial literacy in public schools.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, y'all could give me top, 5 top things real quick so I could just understand what y'all perception of financial literacy is, us in the world. Because I said stocks. I was just trying to
I
go
think
to one thing just so I could make a
some
point to have to, buy into the system. But
yeah. So with financial literacy, like one of my top three things would be the importance of breaking down. Like, so if you are going to go and quote unquote, how we say quote unquote, buy into the system, right? All right, that's cool because not everybody can own. You know what I mean? So you gotta understand that there are people that are going to have to be workers, right?
Right.
So for those people that are workers, not just them, but for those people that are workers, they need to be taught the importance of opening a bank account, opening a savings account of some, but teaching them what portion of their check they need to learn how to live off of,
How to
what
budget.
portion of their check they need to learn how to save. Damn, did I cut out in my back?
we
You
with you.
good? We hear
You
you.
back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The portion, what percentage of their check they need to learn how to save? What percentage they need to learn how to live off of? You know what I'm saying? Understanding what type of purchases are assets to your life, and what type of purchases are liabilities.
The pros and
Uh-huh.
cons. The pros and cons to credits.
Yes,
Okay, bro.
I think
Yeah,
that's
bro.
another thing too.
The pros and cons to credit, how to leverage assets, working your day job. Say you work a day job every day. How to budget that day job in order to have financial freedom at some point.
Yep,
Understand how Social Security works. Understanding how retirement works, mutual funds, different investment funds that you get from your day
yep.
jobs. Understanding
Learning how
what is it?
if you do have a job with a 401k plan, knowing that you are the IRA your 401k. Knowing that just that little 401k is not going to be enough to live off of once you are no longer working.
What are
You
different
have to
options?
set yourself up for
What
retirement as well.
Like
Say that one more
other
time.
than other than 401k, what are other investment options that you could possibly have other than
Right,
401k?
right.
Right?
Right,
Like
stuff
Like
like that.
IRAs, you got your Roth IRAs, you got your normal IRAs. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
um,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yes,
can
sir.
be an everyday worker and still not live paycheck to paycheck.
Yes, that is true. Some
So we
people,
are
some,
teaching them to be everyday workers as well.
yes, you're gonna have to. Yes, because like
We're not
yes.
telling you how to make your money. We trying to teach you how to manage it.
Right.
Right. It's not about it when yeah, exactly what he said. It's not about
That's
how
what
you make your
financial
money.
freedom is. It's like you know what you're doing, you understand it. We don't we
Right.
come in it we come out of it, we don't even understand it till we already in it, drown it. That's what
But we
he's saying.
don't understand financial freedom or financial literacy till we've already blown half a meal.
Right. Or you owe Fannie Mae and Fannie Mac because you went to college with no fucking
Mm-hmm.
plan, or you
With
burnt
no
up your
fucking
credit cards
plan.
because as soon as you turned 18, they started throwing you all types of fucking credit cards and you didn't know how to use it.
And yep.
What age should
Making
these kids be learning these? High school? You said high school
I
be
think
built
it
in?
should
Yeah, I'm
start
about to say, understand we
no,
could be
I
learning
think it
all
should
this
start
stuff
at
in
seventh
high
grade.
school.
I know I think it should start at seventh grade, catch them before high school.
If
As
it,
Right.
soon as you
then it
go
should
into
start at
It
middle
could be
elementary
even
school,
as
there.
far as management
That's
goes,
yeah.
say
because
that one more time.
Go ahead,
it
Wink.
should start at elementary school as far as straight up money management goes.
Okay. I
Yeah,
don't
in my
disagree.
opinion, because
Yeah,
like
I
some
don't
of the stuff that
disagree.
y'all
You be
saying that y'all
I
didn't
agree.
learn, in my
That could
opinion,
work
I
too.
Absolutely
learned that
correct.
at a young age, but I learned that from my father. Granted,
Right.
that's why some of the stuff, if you're not learning it, because who are you coming, I don't know, some of this stuff should be coming, we should be learning in school or learning from I guess, adults in our lives, but if we all don't have that or different circumstances with
Right.
parents and guardians, it's like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's
The
kind
ear
of like
the
But I
earlier
agree with
that the
the
earlier
earlier
that
the
you teach
better.
them, the earlier that you teach them, the better.
I'm
Exactly.
about to say
Yeah.
I agree
So
with
It's
you can
it's
start
like
teaching these
it's
kids at the moment where you start having these third parties come in and doing these fucking fundraisers.
Yep.
You can start
There you
right
go.
there.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
you can start teaching them you can start teaching them slowly implementing money management and like first grade. Yeah, when they
yeah.
go to
Now
shit
But
let
like
me show
where
Girl
you how the
Scouts
cookie
and
Mhm.
just is. Let
yeah,
me show you. All right, this is the percentage that goes here, here, and here, and let me show you how fucked up this is because people
Yeah.
making money. You ain't making shit.
exactly. The only thing the girls, my daughter in Girl Scouts every other Thursday. The only like they sell a $6 box of cookies. They make $1 off of it, but that dollar goes directly to the troop, not them. To the troop. You know what I'm saying? They don't see no. They tell them that the benefit is they get to take them on. They get the money that they're making from these fundraisers
To go on the trip.
is for these field trips that they're taking when they go here to do archery and they go here to do Taylor Swift some shit or here camping and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. Yeah, once you putting them in a position to make
To make
money for
money.
somebody else, then they need to be learning how to manage money as well. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So elementary school, I completely agree with you. And to your point, yeah, yes, I think that it should come from the home, but because there are a lot of broken homes due to, shit that's going on in the world, I think that it should also like just like math, reading, writing, all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all taught at home as well, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also a part of the school, the curriculum in school as well. So I think just as essential to life as math, reading, and writing is, I think financial literacy as just as important. Because with financial literacy, somebody mentioned earlier, generational wealth. You're going to understand generational wealth earlier, and you're going to be able to set yourself up and
Mm-hmm.
set your future generations up to be a part of that group of people who have that generational wealth. If you understand the financial freedom and learn how to accomplish financial freedom before you make it to a college and whatnot.
Right, and the problem with it is like the system is so fucked up, and college makes so much money that they don't want them to learn it too early because they want them to have to go to college and spend the money. You
Yep.
have to go into debt to get this
That's what I'm
knowledge.
saying. Yeah. That's the part of the system. Yep.
You have to go into debt to get this knowledge.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, y'all had a whole lot of smoke, man. As we close this episode, man, we reflected on a whole lot of stories shaped up 2024 and what they taught us on the road ahead, man. Thank everybody for tuning in to the Sice Room. Stay bold, stay real, man. Voila.
Well,
Voila.
yes,
Voila.
sir.